we saw Sean O'Brien go to the Republican National Convention, say some things that they never hear in the Republican National Convention, but also say some things that are very unhelpful in terms of not just for all regular normal people, but also unhelpful for unions, his union probably at the end of the day, which is that there's no difference really between the parties when it comes to union support. When, of course, it couldn't be further from the truth. Democrats have not gone as far as they should, but the reality is Republicans are going in the opposite direction. Here is UAW President Shawn Fain, however, who spoke at Netroots Nation last week, understands the existential threat to unions that Donald Trump represents. The existential threat that Donald Trump represents to union organizing, and is endorsing the Democratic president. I think he also, even in this speech, suggested maybe the door is open for it being a different Democratic president. But more importantly than his endorsement for a Democratic president, he is endorsing labor power. Irrespective of who's president in 2028, Shawn Fain has a plan that has nothing to do with who's in office. But he understands that before you get to 2028, you need to make sure that you can build union power over the next 4 years. And largely, that's going to come from organizing efforts by unions. But you do not want headwinds. You do not want obstacles. You do not want that to be harder than you want it to be as easy as possible, because it's hard. And if you have a Republican presidency, you're going to have headwinds. You're going to have obstacles. You're going to be disempowered in many respects. It's going to make it that much harder. Here he is. This is the end of his speech at Netroots Nation.
The billionaire class and the corporate class has the working class on the ropes, and they're ready, through their messiah, Donald Trump, to deliver a fatal blow. And our political system is set up to let that happen. But I know another truth. The truth is, we can win. We've got a lot more fighting to do and a lot more winning to do. And after our stand-up strike victory, we decided to set our sights on an even bigger goal. We've lined up our contracts for May 1st, 2028, May Day. Our vision is to show corporate America, not just the big three and not the other companies we represent, what it really looks like when the working class stands up. So we're preparing for a general strike in 2028 to demand We're preparing for a general strike to demand, after decades of falling behind, that the working class gets their fair share. But to win that, we're going to need a much larger labor union and labor movement. We're going to need a much stronger political movement. And we're going to need a brave group of leaders, a relentless army of working class people, and a moral vision for the future. You know, when I look around this room, I know we have everything we need to win. We know everything we need to win. And we have every reason to fight like hell to win. So there's really only one question left, and that is, are you ready to stand up? I know you are. I say this every time I speak, and I got to say this again. This is our generation's defining moment. And we need to meet this moment. We need to stand up and take our lives back, not just for our generation, but for future generations. So thank you.
So that's how you do it. And you can pick up subtle differences in just the language that Shawn Fain uses versus O'Brien. He talks about class. He talks about billionaires. Incidentally, J.D. Vance delivering Andreessen and one other tech bro billionaire money, but we'll get to that later. So here he is making the point that the value of a Democratic administration over a Republican administration is that they're not going to have the roadblocks. There's going to be a little bit more grease in the machinery. The machinery is still the workers. The machinery is still organizing. But government has the opportunity to put grease in there or to create a little rust or to throw a little dirt or to put a big wall in front of it. And he's still calling for a general strike in 2028, regardless of who is in power. But it's just going to be much easier if it's Democrats. And he knows it. He knows it. Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.